Welcome to the Kobe Bryant Film Room. And I wanted to do my first ever subscriber request video from Mr. Zeddie Perry the Fourth. All right, shout out to Zeddie Perry, man. You're one of my day ones, right? So you'll always get my day ones out there. To all my day ones, you guys are always going to get preferential treatment, whether to who I respond to in the comment section, to who I make videos for on different subjects. But I wanted to get into this. Did Kobe Bryant quit against the Phoenix Suns in the 05-06 playoffs? Right? Let's get into it.
From Studio J, it is time for the T-Mobile halftime report.
They came up here in case Charles
Let me back up and give you guys a little bit of a background on this particular subject, right? Charles Barkley was heavily criticizing Kobe on his Game 7 performance against the Phoenix Suns. He felt like Kobe wasn't aggressive enough. He felt like Kobe quit on the team, right? As we know, Charles Barkley puts his foot in his mouth a lot and just goes off on a tangent and just says things, right? So Kobe then responded to Charles via text message and cursed Charles out. So let's continue on.
with my man Kobe at halftime.
Here's Kobe. And we welcome you to the TNT Arena. Ernie Johnson, Kenny Jake Smith, Charles Barkley, and our guest for the evening, the Lakers, Kobe Bryant. Hey, thanks for being here. It's really good to see you. And I think this is going to be good for fans out there, too, because, we'll see you on the floor, see you maybe in some one-on-one interviews. I think this is going to be some fun for you tonight.
It's exciting. I'm excited to be here.
4 hours? You know how long we're here?
I've heard.
Okay, just a second. We don't want that ballot out, though. We're here from like 8
Hey, Kelly's suit is big as shit. He got one of them kingpin suits. That suit bigger than him.
O'clock at 2 in the morning. We only work about 35, 40 minutes.
That's a good. It actually flies by. It really does.
No, it doesn't.
Hey, Kelly looked like one of them kids who dress up as their parents.
We're hard at work. It does. Meantime, let's talk about your relationship with Charles Barkley, shall we? And maybe we can do this now, and then we can be done with it. And we can just have a jolly old time the rest of the night. You said something about Kobe's performance
In Game 7.
Game 7, and I think the term that came up was selfish. And then came a bunch of text messages, apparently, Kobe, from you to Charles and back and forth.
Right.
So now you're meeting face to face with the first.
Well, you know what? I criticized Kobe in Game 7. He didn't like it. He let me know it. I think I probably made one mistake taking it public, but I wanted to get his side.
And Charles makes a lot of mistakes taking things public. This is the reason why Michael Jordan no longer talks to him, right? Because he felt like he had his number. He could have called him instead of getting on TV and bashing Mike as an owner, right? Publicly. So Mike had a problem with that, and Charles has a habit of just saying crazy, outlandish things on the air about people.
His point of view. I have no problem with him disagreeing with me. I think I did make a mistake making that public because he didn't take it public, I did. But I thought I didn't like the way he played in Game 7 because I didn't think he was aggressive. I understand why he didn't like it, me calling him out on national television. He let me know it. And to me,
Well, he didn't like it because the shit wasn't true.
But the end of it is kind of taking on.
I think the critical, the important part is that we go out there and we play the game. We play the game to win, and obviously we had a strategy that worked very well for us in 3 games. We tried to keep the strategy going in Game 7 and the other games as well. It didn't work out for us, but we're out there to try to win. So to label me as being selfish was something that I took up with Charles.
Right.
And see, that's what the media has became, right? And Charles is guilty of this as well. Attacking somebody's character, right? So saying somebody played bad or they didn't perform well is one thing. Calling them selfish is another, right? And I want y'all to listen to how Kobe breaks down he methodically breaks down the strategy of the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Phil Jackson wanted to implement a free-flowing system, right? where the ball keeps moving and gets everybody involved. But watch how Kobe breaks this shit down.
You know, over the text messages thing. It is one thing to criticize an individual's game, but it's another thing to...
Did you see where taking 3 shots in that game was going to raise some eyebrows?
No, not really. I mean, if you look at the way that we played throughout the series, Game 4 in particular, I mean, we had a deficit in Game 4 in the fourth quarter. It was a double-digit deficit, 12, 13, 14-point game. And, you know, we stuck to the script because we knew in order to beat the Phoenix Suns, we have to stop them. And in order for us to stop them, everybody has to feel you're more involved. When you play better offensively, when you hit down 1, 2 jumpers, all of a sudden your energy picks up, your intensity picks up, your defensive level picks up. And that's the only way that we're going to beat the Phoenix Suns. If I go out there and score...
So y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? The only way you're going to beat the Phoenix Suns, right, is if everybody's involved. It's a team effort to beat a team that's scoring over 100 points during that time, right? Like a high scoring, one of the highest scoring teams of that decade, if not the most highest scoring team of that decade, right? To beat them, you need other people to fucking put the ball in the basket, and you need to stop them because they want to get up and down the floor. You got to think about basketball as a strategy, guys. That's why basketball is beautiful. It's a chess game. And in the playoffs, it's the ultimate chess game, right? You move your piece here, I move my piece here. The first team that runs out of adjustments is going to lose, right? So the first team that runs out of moves is going to lose. So Phoenix, what do they want to do from a strategic standpoint? They want to push the pace. Them niggas want to run. So what Kobe want to do? He want to get defense in there, slow them down, right? Stop them, right? Get other people involved so you can at least match their scoring at certain points in the game. But listen to the rest of this, y'all.
20 points in the quarter, 25 points in the quarter, they didn't care less because they want to score anyway.
Right. Let me answer this one question. And I understand what you were trying to do, but at some point you got to say, I got to take this game over. And I got to be aggressive. I at least got to go down firing. That was really my only.
That's hindsight. When you're in the moment and you're in the flow of things, you're trying to get things. You're trying to get shit done. Kobe was willing to do whatever it took to win the fucking game. That's hindsight. That's armchair quarterback, right? Of course, it's easier to sit down in a seat and say somebody should have did something. But when your first strategy of scoring isn't working, you have to be a playmaker.
Point directing that at you. But listen, we've all been in that situation where the coach says, hey, coach, what you drew up ain't working. Because you guys were only down 15.
Well, hold on. Let's get rid of that shit right now. Okay. The last couple of games in the regular season, the strategy was always to get the teammates involved and then Kobe to take over like when need be. Right? So the strategy was always to move the ball. They started moving the ball, right? Kobe Bryant's assists actually went up from 5 assists in the regular season to 7 in the playoffs. So Kobe was moving the ball, right?
You know what? It worked for us in Game 4. I mean, we had a deficit in Game 4 that was tough to overcome. And that was one of those situations where I said, you know, I'm going to take over the game offensively and dominate this game. But I didn't do that because we knew that the strategy was to get everybody involved because that affects the defensive end of the floor. And we did that very well in Game 4. In fact, the shot that, you know, Devin George gave me a great pass on, the shot that I hit to send the game in overtime was my first basket of the whole fourth quarter.
Exactly.
You know, we're in double-digit deficit the entire game.
And see this expectation that he was always, and you know, it's kind of funny that the hypocrisy, right? Niggas get mad when Kobe don't pass the ball, when he takes those shots. But then when he passed, them motherfuckers get even more mad. Man, you should have kept gunning. Like, it's the dumbest shit ever. And a lot of these guys, bro, they're unreasonable because they don't want to give Kobe a chance. They don't want to give him a fair look at this, right? Some of them, a lot of them are LeBron fans, right? Let's just keep this shit 100. They're LeBron fans. And so what they want to do is point to a series where they think Kobe froze up, right? But that's not the case. Kobe did not freeze up. It was always their strategy to get the other guys involved, and then Kobe would take over later. Because you can't beat the Phoenix Suns by yourself. Kobe understood that. So what he did was he allowed his teammates to get into the flow. But his teammates could only take you so far. But the first 4 games, it was working. The first 4 games, the Lakers were up 3-1, right? The first 4 games, the passing strategy was working. Game 5, the shit was not working, right? Game 5, he was passing, but they lost by 17, y'all.
So, when do, Charles says, sometimes I look at it and I would say, it's not working. And sometimes you say, I heard even Phil Jackson said, I give Kobe the liberty to say, to get everyone involved and then let him be offensively aggressive if he wants. When do you look at the score and say, all right, this is time for me to be offensively aggressive?
It depends who we're playing. And what I mean by that is there are certain teams.
Y'all hear that? It's the strategy of basketball. You don't play every team the same way. And see, this is what happens when you look at analytics and stats. It doesn't account for who you're playing, right? Back in the day, back during that time, teams played differently. Everybody wasn't just chucking up threes, right? You had teams that spread up the ball. You had defensive teams who slowed the game down. You had to beat them by rebounding the ball. You had to beat them by limiting scoring, some teams, right? Some teams you had to beat them mentally early on, right? This is the strategy of basketball that gets lost in this media, stat-driven, analytical, bullshit-based breakdowns of the game that they do on national TV. This is why fans look back and they don't understand why Kobe was doing what he was doing, because they're so stuck on, well, he should have just, the bonehead shit, right? He should have just shot more shots. Yeah, that would have won them the game. Really, it wasn't winning them the games all season. Even though Kobe was averaging 35 a game, the first player to ever do so since Michael Jordan, it wasn't fucking working during the regular season. So why would the fuck would he take that strategy into the playoffs? Kobe was smart enough, he didn't take that strategy into the playoffs. And that's why he was up 3-1. And unfortunately, Phoenix had more moves than the Lakers did. And Phoenix, the teammates that were scoring all those points got shut down later on in that series.
That you can demoralize by scoring a lot of points. You know what I'm saying? So if I come out against a certain team that I know is going to stop me, if I go out there and I score 20, 25 points a quarter, it takes their momentum away. Phoenix is not one of those teams. I've scored 20 points against them in the quarter, 25 points. It doesn't do anything to them. They just come back down the end and keep free flowing.
So you hear that? It doesn't do anything to them. The reason why it doesn't do shit to them, because they don't give a fuck about playing defense. Mike D'Antoni's philosophy is, I don't give a fuck about playing defense. The ball goes through the net. I want you to take that bitch out as fast as possible and push that shit down the court so we can score again. There's 7 seconds of left offense. They don't give a fuck if Kobe scores 1,000 points. They're going to still play the same way. 7 seconds up the court. Get a shot up.
They shoot the ball. To demoralize them, you have to stop them.
All right, so that was in the past. We are now in the present. We are now.
Why you change your number?
Well, I'm not going to jump over the table and lump them upside the head or nothing like that.
Sis, why you change your number?
It's number 8 has been with me for a while, obviously,
but you see, guys, I just wanted to point that out, and I wanted to get Kobe Bryant's words from a strategic standpoint, right? A mind of a leader, a mind of a winner. He wanted to beat them defensively. He wanted to beat them by committee. Kobe was a team player, despite what motherfuckers try to say about him. You don't win 5 championships if you're not dedicated to the team. Kobe was a team player, but he approached the game differently than other guys. He approached the game differently than a Magic Johnson, right? Kobe approached the game differently than those guys, a Larry Bird, right? He approached the game differently, y'all. So I want y'all to think about basketball strategy. Basketball strategy, y'all. It's more than just putting the ball in the basket sometimes. It's about, what is the other team trying to do? What is this? Even though putting the ball in the basket is important, putting the ball in the basket against Phoenix is not as important as stopping them from putting the ball in the basket, slowing down the pace, getting teammates involved so that you can match their firepower, right? So Game 6. I want to go through Game 6. Game 6, Kobe dropped 58 and 5. Right? So Kobe was passing. He was scoring, and he was more aggressive in Game 6. Right? He went 20 of 35 from the field. Right? The shooting didn't fucking work. They got their ass whooped. Kobe scored 23 points at the half and 8 of 13 from the field. And we were down 45 to 60. Right? At the half, right? We're talking about Game 7. At the half. We were down 45 to 60. Kobe scored 23 points and 8 of 13 from at the half. Right? So Kobe, being a smart basketball player, being an intelligent man as he was, looked and said, well, what the fuck? I need to score less and get more people involved. On the pace we're going, we're going to get our ass whooped. Well, they got their ass whooped anyways, but still. Okay, his teammates, right? I want you guys to really look at this, because guys give LeBron James a pass for his teammates not being good, but they don't give Kobe that same pass, which is hypocritical, right? His teammates were 16 of 46, y'all. 35%. They were dog shit. They were shit water. Right? I want you to keep in mind who the Lakers were as a team. Forget about Kobe. As a team, to who the Suns were as a team. Right? The Suns were the second seed with a 54 and 28 record. The Lakers were the seventh seed with a record of 45 and 37. So you had the seventh seed against the second seed. Right? Who was the better team? There was no play-in tournament back then, you guys. Kobe had to win 45 games just to make the playoffs at the seventh seed in the West. Right? Phoenix were better than any team LeBron faced in 2007. They were better than any of those teams. Right? Maybe not the Spurs. That's all the way up to the finals. They were better than all those other teams. Right? 54 and 28 record. With Steve Nash, right, having one of his best years. You had a team with Sean Marion, who was the leading scorer on that team. Right? And you had shooters, knockdown shooters all around Steve Nash. Right? So they had more firepower than the Lakers. So there's a such thing as being outmanned and outgunned. So Mr. Kobe Bryant here, this man right here, did everything he could. Everything he could. He wanted to win. So when people say he quit, you guys tell them bullshit. And you show them this video. Right? Kobe did not quit. Kobe never quit. It wasn't part of his DNA. With that said, I'm going to end it here, y'all. Shout out to Zeddie Perry the 4th, my subscriber. Thank you for subscribing to the Kobe Bryant Film Room. I appreciate it, right? Y'all hit that like button. And those who haven't subscribed, subscribe. And I'll see y'all later. I'm out.